All right. So tonight, I'm going a little different route than I normally go. Um, the thing is I really like tangible things when it comes to business. I like things that you can implement and to put into place, and like I like tasks and like thing like IPAs. And if you don't know what an IPA it's an income producing activity. Those are things that like I'm good at. I'm good at talking about like the tangible like parts of business. The parts that I'm not so good at talking about usually are parts that involve like the like emotional parts, or like the parts that like your pep talk or things. But today I woke up with this heavy on my heart and I was like, you know what? This is my Zoom topic tonight and I'm just going to go for it. So bear with me. But I'm going to start out. I'm going to pray. So thank you, God, for this company that gives us the opportunity to work by our own rules to glorify you. Thank you for bringing like-minded people into our lives, men and women that you've put into our path, and the opportunity to grow and learn together. Amen. And my dogs are barking. I'm so sorry. Okay, so tonight I'm going to ask you some questions. And they're going to be questions that might actually irritate you a little. And I'm doing that on purpose and I'm talking to me as much as I'm talking to everyone else here, because the past like 5 or 6 months, have been asking myself these questions as well. And it's really kind of changed the course of how I show up. And I know that these questions are important, and I want you guys to write down, if you have something to write with, I want you to write down some of these questions. And if you feel comfortable, go ahead and answer them in the chat. I would love to see some of your answers. But I want you to write these down, and I want you to sit down with them until you figure out real answers. And I'm gonna go into a little more in depth into that as we go. But I don't want your surface answers for these. So you're gonna have to dig deep. There's gonna be some soul searching here tonight, and no one can do that for you but you. And I can't do it for you, even though I would love to do all of this for everybody. I can't. So the first question, and the most obvious question, is why are you here? What is the reason that you hit the promoter button? What is the reason that you're on this Zoom? What is the reason that you're watching the replay of this Zoom? Why are you here? Why are you showing up? And I don't mean I want to make an extra like $100 for my family a month. I mean, like, what is it? If anything could come from this business, if anything in the world could come from it, what is it that you wanted? Like, why are you here? And I'm talking like your deep answer. I don't want like, oh, my kids motivate me. Yeah, my kid motivates me too. But like, what about it? What about this motivates you for your kids? So that's the first question that I want you to write down. And I really want you to soul search when you answer it, because this is going to be the reason that you show up. This is going to be the reason on hard days that you still, log into your cloud. These are going to be the days that you still send follow-ups. This answer is going to be the reason that you don't quit. So, and when you do this, I want to know what you really want. Like, what is going to set your soul on fire? Okay. For me, like, this is an evolving question. Like, the answer has changed quite a few times in the past year that I've been doing this business as far as what I want. I feel like, in the beginning, it was just, the money was there, and, it was fun, and I wanted to lose weight, and, like all these surface things. But now what I want now, I want to do whatever I want. I want the freedom to not ever have to say yes or no if I don't want to. And that may sound like surface to a lot of people, but that is a deep why for me. Like that sets my soul on fire, never having to be backed into a corner, to go into a furniture store and buy a bedroom suit. And when they ask me how I'm paying, I can be like, or if they ask me if I'm going to finance it, I can look at it and be like, no, cash. And not for the way that it is that people look at me when I say that, but just for the freedom of knowing that I don't have that debt for my family. So those are the type of things, you know, showing up for school events and never missing anything for my kid. Like that is what sets my soul on fire. Showing up for my team and helping them achieve that same level of freedom, that sets my soul on fire. Okay. So now I'm going to change this up a little. And here's another question I want you to write down. It's kind of a scenario. So you're going to write down the scenario and then answer it. And you don't have to answer it right now. If you know the answer right now, great. But if you need to think about it, that's cool too. And I'm going to give you an example of this as well. But I want you to imagine a week of your dream life. And I don't mean like on vacation, like we all have our dream vacation life. I mean your actual dream life, like a whole week of it. Like, what does that look like for you? Is that waking up without an alarm and sitting on the porch with your Thrive Shake? Is that getting up in the morning and working your business, working out when you want to, being able to not be rushed in the morning to get your kids off to school? What does a week of your dream life look like to you? And what really got me asking this question is that I asked my husband. And I looked at him and because, you know, I've been doing this for over a year now, and I've asked myself these questions. I know what I want. But he is coming new into this and he hasn't thought about it. He's never been in a position to where he can be like, what is it that I really want? Because he's been showing up for the past 20 years to a job that, you know, it was just kind of laid out for him. Like, this is what he was going to do. This is what he knew. And this was just how it was. And he never questioned it. And a lot of people are like that. A lot of people will just keep showing up to a job that they dislike or a job that doesn't fulfill them in any type of way. And they'll just keep showing up because that's what you do. And so I sat down with him a couple of weeks ago and I said, what does your dream life look like? Like when you wake up in the morning, what is it that like you would just love to do every day? And he said, I just want to wake up without an alarm and be able to sit on the porch and not be rushed to have to go somewhere. And I'm like, okay, so that is a real goal. Like to me, like that is peace. He wants peace. Like I hear that answer and I'm like, my husband wants peace. He wants things to calm down. So then my head started going into, okay, what sacrifices do we make to obtain that dream? And this is where it gets really real, y'all, because we all dream real big and we all will say, you know, this is what we want. And we're willing to do whatever it takes to get it. But are you really willing to do whatever it takes? Because I'm gonna ask you some questions, and these questions might hurt your feelings. And if you feel at all convicted when I ask these questions, it's because your answers aren't what they need to be. So, okay, here I go. And this is not my normal like Jasmine Zoom. Like I'm not usually like your inner soul searching type person, but this is important. Okay, so for instance, Jared wanted to not have to wake up to an alarm. Hold on. He wanted to be able to sit on the porch in the mornings and not feel rushed. He wants peace. He wants to go, you know, he doesn't want to go to a job where everybody complains all day. Okay. So I started asking, well, what blocks us from getting there? And one of the obvious things to us is a truck that he had. He was paying a friggin' mortgage payment on this 2021 Dodge Ram to drive to a job that he doesn't like. And I was like, it baffles me that anyone would do something they don't want to do to pay for a car or a house. Okay. I would rather be happy driving a beater or something that the company pays for than driving my dream vehicle to a job that drains my soul. So the first thing that we did, we sold his truck, and it was brand new, and we took a loss. God, did we take a loss. After they bought the truck, we still had to write a check for $12,000. Okay. To me, like most people would hear, oh my God, you got rid of the truck and had to write a check for $12,000. To me, that's peace. That is peace. And I'm thankful for a business that allowed me to do that. I'm thankful that I could write a $12,000 check and not blink an eye. I am so thankful that I knew my why and have been working toward it. So I was in a position to help him. Because when I figured my stuff out, we weren't together. And so I'm sitting here thinking, you know, if I can help him get to his peace, yeah, we're doing it. So when I ask you, would you have wrote a $12,000 check if it got you closer to your dream life? And it's not just money. So we're going to keep going. Are you willing to wake up an hour earlier? Because I hear a lot of people say, I don't have time. And that drives me insane. I am one of the busiest people I know. I have 2 businesses. I have an 8-year-old. I share custody. I have a husband. We have life. We have sports. We have all the things, right? I'm busy. So here's the thing. If you woke up an hour earlier and worked this business, where would that put you? And then this brings me to me hearing people say, well, I can't. No, you won't. You can, you won't, because you don't value the goal as much as you value whatever that excuse is. You don't value the goal more than you value sleeping in that extra hour. So that's why your why and why you're doing this has to be the most important thing in your life. So when I'm sitting here telling you, if you woke up an hour earlier, you would be able to work this business in that hour. Your goal has to mean more than that extra hour of sleep. So if you are waking up at 10 o'clock in the morning, don't set your alarm clock for 4:30. You're going to fail. Okay. If you're waking up every day at 10 o'clock and you set your alarm clock for 4:30 a.m., you are going to fail. You are setting yourself up for failure. But if you are waking up at 10 a.m. and you set your alarm for 9 a.m. for the next week, that's progress. And then maybe the next week you set it for 8 a.m. And then maybe 6 months from now, you are getting up at 5 a.m. And I will tell you this, I get up at 4:45 to 5 a.m. every single morning. And I'm not saying that you have to do that. Maybe for you, it's staying up later. Maybe for you, it's staying up an hour after you get the kids to bed instead of just collapsing. But if you can't give a best of yourself for an hour after you've worked all day, then I suggest getting up earlier. But here's the thing. That time where I'm up from like 5 to 7, there is nobody that needs me. There's nobody on Facebook that needs me. There's nobody in my home that needs me. I get to be selfish for those 2 hours and be Jasmine and focus on my business and focus on me and what I need, whether that be me writing in a gratitude journal first thing in the morning, whether me listening to gospel music, writing a devotional, whether it be sending follow-up messages, whether it be in my cloud, helping promoters, whatever it is that I need for me, I can take care of before anybody else needs me. And so that is where your increments of building this business successfully can come in. So if you're having trouble finding time, you make time. You make time. We all make time. And I like to say this about working out. And I'm going to tell myself right here. I've lost about 50 pounds. And for months, I have been saying, I need to get this last 20 to 25 pounds off. And I do. I want the last 20 to 25 pounds off. I mean it when I say it. But you know what? I, right now, do not value my goal of that last 20 to 25 pounds enough to change my diet more. And that's a hard truth. And I know, like, that is me calling myself out on my own bull crap, right? That is me saying, hey, Jasmine, you're full of it right now. And if you would get serious about this goal that you keep saying that you have, and if it meant more to you, you would do what you needed to do to lose the last 20 to 25 pounds. There would be no excuses. So right now, when it comes to losing this last bit of weight, my I can't is a I won't. Okay. So I'm asking you to sit down and evaluate your goals, your can'ts, and your won'ts. And for me, maybe I have to set a bigger goal with my weight loss. I have on my vision board, I have, when I get to my goal weight, I want to get like the tummy tuck, the mommy thing done. That motivates me. So maybe I need to focus more on that being the goal than I do the last 20 to 25 pounds or a number on the scale. So whatever you have to do to change your goal to where it means something more to you, that's where you start. So are you willing to sell things that you are spending your time working to pay for? Like my husband's truck. Are you spending time working for some of the things that you have, whether it be things you put on credit cards, maybe an ATV, maybe the home that you have, maybe it's a vehicle, whatever it is that you are going to work every day because you have to pay for it. Are you willing to sell it? Are you willing to cancel the Netflix subscription and take the time that you would normally spend on Netflix and spend it on your business? Are you willing to invest the $90 a month that you spend on cable and put $90 into your business? Are you willing to not buy the bathing suit that you wanted that was $30 and give 2 customers free shipping to build your customer base instead? Y'all, when you lay it out like this, it sounds real simple. And I think that some of us just don't put it this way, but once we hear it this way, we're like, holy crap. Because I'm sitting there thinking, hey, had I not bought that bathing suit and then I took the $30 that I spent and gave 2 free customers free shipping, that would have built my customer base. That is residual income every month. Like, I gave that up for a bathing suit. So we have to change our mindset around the habits that we have and around the goals that we are setting for ourselves. And we have to get really real about the sacrifices that we're willing to make to reach those goals. Hold on, I'm checking time to see if I'm still good. Okay, yeah, I have 10 minutes. Okay, are you willing to reach out to the people on your chicken list? I'm guilty of this one too. There are people that I know would kill this business, and I haven't reached out to them because I'm afraid of being that girl. And I'm sitting here like, my gosh, that girl is doing the thing. Like, why am I afraid of being that girl when I know this has changed my life? And I don't mean reaching out in a salesy way, like, hey girl, you're so pretty, you would be so great at joining my team or whatever. I don't mean that. I mean somebody building genuine relationships with people and talking to the people that you already have relationships with that you know would be amazing in this business, and just say, have you ever thought about doing what I do? And then they're like, well, what is it that you do? Conversation started. That easy, right? And I can do better at that. There are people that I know that I want to reach out to like that I just haven't. And I need to, I should. And I'm doing them a disservice by not doing it. And so another thing, are you doing your power hour activities? And by power hour, if you don't know what that is, our team in our upline, they have a power hour that they do every morning where they go through IPAs on social media. Like they do their story posts, they post their 3 steps, they tell people happy birthday in messages, they do all the things to interact on social media to gain following, to gain exposure, that sort of thing. Are you doing those things, or are you on social media scrolling mindlessly, not really doing anything productive, and then thinking that you spent time working your business? I used to be real guilty of that. I used to scroll social media for an hour and think that I worked my business because I scrolled. No, I didn't work my business. I was just looking. I was lurking. Now I am so intentional with my phone. And this is going to be real, like, surprising to a lot of you. It was actually surprising this Sunday to one of my pastors. After church, I left my phone at the church. I left it setting where I was setting at church, forgot it there. I didn't realize I forgot my phone for over an hour. We were out to lunch, eating after church. We had gotten through our entire meal when I finally looked at Jared and said, I think I might have forgot my phone at church. So most people would think that if I forgot my phone for like 5 minutes, that I would be losing my mind, right? No, I'm so intentional with my phone time. And after church, I went to eat with my son and my husband, and it was not my intentional phone time. So I had no reason to have my phone out. So for that hour, I had no clue I'd forgotten. And so I have gotten so intentional with my time on my phone that a lot of times, like, I'm not scrolling. And when I do scroll, it's intentional. It's very intentional to interact with non-thrivers, to grow my following, to tell people happy birthday, to do the things that I need to do to grow this business, to be on stories, to talk about the products, to post my 3 steps, whatever it is that I need to be doing to grow this business. That is my intentional phone time. That is what I'm doing on my phone. And if I am not doing those things intentionally, I'm not on my phone. So that's why sometimes you may message me and you may get a quick response. And then sometimes it may be an hour or 2 before you hear from me, because I'm very intentional and I am very guarded when it comes to my phone, because it can become a problem quick. And it can become a problem that you're investing so much time into and not getting anything out of. So knowing your limits and setting productive time on your phone is key. So another thing, are you willing to time block? Are you willing to sacrifice an hour of your day? Like the waking up earlier, maybe it's your lunchtime. Maybe you get an hour on lunch. Are you willing to sit at your desk and work instead of going out to lunch with your friends and socializing? Are you willing to sit down and have a working lunch and work this business? Are you willing to go live? Are you willing to put yourself in your stories? Those are sacrifices that we have to make if our goal is worth it. So, self-development. When you're listening to podcasts, when you're reading articles, when you're doing things that you consider self-development, are you implementing those things into your life? Or are you just hearing them and letting them go in one ear and out the other? So if you're listening, if you take an hour and you listen to a podcast and it is talking about self-growth and development and things, are you implementing those things, or did you waste your time? Are you showing up for Zooms? Are you watching the trainings afterward? There are a lot of times where I don't show up at 9, but I always watch. When I sit down in the morning and I'm working my business, it's usually playing in the background. So, and here's the thing, like, I know that people do what their leader does. And so when you guys see me showing up, you're more likely to show up. But I cannot be the only reason that you're showing up. I can't be that reason, because I guarantee you that I show up quietly too. So I'm still watching those Zooms. I am still showing up in the ways that I can't be seen. So you can guarantee I'm not missing anything. I'm not missing it. So if you only show up when I show up, your priorities are wrong. Do this for you. Okay, so I'm looking at my notes here. I have like a whole page of notes. I'm almost through it, actually. So actually, I think I'm almost. Oh, here's another thing. Investing. Are you willing to sacrifice the checks that you make in your first few weeks of business, your first few months of business, and put that back into your business? If you're new, you know that you can convert your checks to credits. When I first started this business, every single check I made went back to credits and went to a new customer every single time. Hold on. Sorry, I'm calling it company. I'm sorry. So are you willing to put your checks back into your business for a while? So here's the thing. We all have IPAs. We all need IPAs, or income producing activities. We all need to be showing up for ourselves. We all need to be doing those things that are going to grow our business, make money, grow relationships, grow your team, help your team, do all of the things. But when it comes down to it, it has to be about what sets your soul on fire. It has to be what gets you up in the morning out of bed and saying, you know what, I'm doing this, and not doing this is not an option. So we get one life, y'all. We don't have to spend it going to a job that we don't like every day. We don't have to spend it praying that our side hustle pans out so we don't have to set an alarm every morning. You have to work this business like you can't afford to fail. Take all the other options off the table. Are y'all in? And how bad do you really want it? Okay, so that is what I have tonight. Those are the questions that I have. I hope that you wrote some of them down. I hope that you truly, genuinely sat down and answer those questions deeply and heartfelt. And I mean, really kick yourself in the butt. Like, I mean, really have a come to Jesus moment with yourself and make some decisions about making sacrifices that are going to get you closer to your dream life. This company is an amazing vehicle to do whatever it is that you want to do. People who tell me that this company doesn't work for them are people who made excuses, who didn't show up, who gave up on themselves. This business structure works. I talk to every new customer just as if they were going to be my next 200K on our team. I talk to every new promoter as if they're going to be the next 200K on our team, because they might be. You never know when you answer a message who it is on your team that is gonna explode and run this business with you and right beside you and become that person in your life. So this business can work. if you work, period. Does anyone have any questions? You can unmute yourself. I'm going to check the chat real fast here because I'm done. Oh, and I ended right at 8:30. Look at me. Yes, Chelsea, I know I have your why back here on my vision board, like for the team, like your why is right there. So yeah, I'm the same way. I never want to have to say no or yes out of desperation. So I get that wholeheartedly. Thank you girls for showing up. I have this recorded and I will post it in the team chat as soon as I get a chance. And you guys have a good night and have a good week. Bye.